The Atlanta Hawks have historically been one of those franchises the rest of the league can safely ignore. The Hawks haven't won a title in 62 years, and that was back in St. Louis. In recent years, they did enjoy a 10-year postseason appearance streak that included a 60-win campaign, but they only reached one conference finals during that run. Over the last 3 years, they've returned to the East's basement, going 73-158 while retooling the entire roster.
You guys suck!
The lone bright spot has been 2018 fifth overall pick Trae Young, a transcendent offensive talent whose range rivals that of Steph Curry.
Trae. Bottoms!
But even Young's presence brings with it dark memories of the fact Atlanta traded Luka friggin' Doncic to get Trae in a draft night deal. We're not here to beat that dead horse though. After being one of the NBA's busiest teams this offseason, the Hawks have finally surrounded Young with enough talent to win some ball games. Are they going to compete for anything of substance? Unlikely. Are they going to be a dumpster fire on defense? Probably. But are they going to be must-see TV? Absolutely. Young is a one-man show. He's a quick, undersized guard who can pull up from anywhere in the gym and is already one of the game's most creative playmakers, especially in the pick and roll.
Little Brushman, he rolls right down the bench, but that pass was between Jokic's legs. What a pass.
The guy averaged 29.6 points and 9.3 assists on 59.5% true shooting as a 21-year-old sophomore. He's also quite possibly the absolute worst defensive player in the league. In double-double machine John Collins, sophomore forward Cam Reddish, and the sweet shooting Kevin Huerter, the Hawks also employ a trio of intriguing talents all aged 23 or younger, but it came with a lot of empty calories. So with a boatload of cap space, Atlanta remade its team with an infusion of veteran talent in free agency. Danilo Gallinari is an elite scorer and offensive force by every conceivable measure. And while he can easily create for himself, he'll also form one of the NBA's most devastating pick and pop combos with Young. Oh yeah, and just like Trae, he's a defensive liability. Bogdan Bogdanovic, another newcomer, is an entertaining, unconscious gunner.
Bogdanovic, 3 seconds. Bogey for the win! Bogdanovic!
You may just not have noticed it because he spent the first 3 years of his NBA career in Sacramento. Bogey finished top 20 in three-point attempts per game last season, shot better than 37% from deep, and saw more than 57% of his total shot attempts come from behind the arc. The 28-year-old Serbian also comes with the intrigue that follows his botched sign-and trade to Milwaukee, where he was reportedly Giannis Antetokounmpo's preferred free agent target. Imagine for a second a Bucks-Hawks 1 vs 8 playoff matchup with Bogdanovic firing away against a team that lost him from its grasp. Oh, and just so we're clear, Bogdanovic also won't do anything to help Atlanta's defense.
Is that D word again?
Moving on, raise your hand if you forgot that the Hawks traded for Clint Capela last year. The big man was sidelined with a plantar fascia injury when Atlanta acquired him from Houston last February, and hasn't played a game for his new team yet. Capela isn't a shooting threat or an elite rim protector, which usually doesn't bode well for bigs in the modern game, and means that he won't be some kind of defensive anchor or savior for the Hawks. But he's a great rebounder and an excellent roll man and finisher if you've got a pick and roll maestro on your team. Capela and Young should work magic together, and the very thought of a Young Capela pick and roll with shooters like Gallo and Bogey around them is enough to make your mouth water. Also, for what it's worth, Capela averaged roughly 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks on 63% shooting last season, and he's still only 26. Now, you'll notice that in running through the Hawks' highest paid players, Gallinari, Bogdanovic, and Capela, whose big money deals all run through the next 3+ years, we haven't stumbled upon anyone who's really going to do anything about Atlanta's 28th ranked defense from last season. The one bright spot on that end is Chris Dunn, whom the Hawks signed for less than $5 million in one of the offseason's most underrated acquisitions. Dunn's shooting woes and offensive limitations are well documented, but but the guy can flat out defend.
Here on Fox. Trying to use give me that. It's stolen by Dunn.
Dunn finished second in steals behind only Ben Simmons last season, and was the biggest contributor to Chicago's surprising top 10 defense. Starting him in the backcourt with Young could make for the perfect combination of fire and ice. Onyeka Okongwu, meanwhile, who the Hawks drafted 6th overall, is probably already the team's second best defensive player, and might even find himself finishing games over Capela as a rookie. Still, there's little chance that a guard and a rookie center can prop up a defense with this many holes. Rajon Rondo, whom they also signed, should be a fine mentor for Trae and a solid game manager for the young Hawks. But the fact is, Rondo hasn't played regular season defense in years. Head coach Lloyd Pierce has his work cut out for him. There are already questions about whether Gallo and Collins can play together when they're both best suited at power forward, and about how the arrivals of Gallo, Bogdan, and Capela might impact the development of Collins, Reddish, Huerter, and Okongwu. In the big picture, those concerns do matter, and the Hawks probably won't sniff true contention in the near future. But there's more than enough talent here to get back in the playoff mix in the Eastern Conference, and to be league pass darlings for any hoops head. And if, say, Atlanta decides to trade Collins before he reaches restricted free agency next summer, the return on that deal could balance out this roster, and the Hawks could suddenly be in business. For now, between Trae's Curry Light game,
You are a cheat code.
Gallo's methodical efficiency,
Hall gives it off to the trailer. That is a massive Gallinari three.
Bogdan's ice water veins,
Down to 2, Bogdanovic off balance, and he scores! Bogdanovic with 1/10 of a second on the shot clock. Oh boy!
and how easily this team will give it all back on the defensive end. The only thing we can say for certain is that you won't be able to look away from your screen when the Hawks are on it this season. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.